there's dirt on my hands.
Hello, YouTube Boss Trino. Welcome to my channel. So ito, try natin to. Bizarre Bob Scary Compilation Volume 73. Malupit to. Dito yung part 2 ng nag-viral video ko sa FB na nagmulto ang katulong. So makikita natin dito. So ito, tirahin natin to bago pa tirahin ng iba.
Workers working the graveyard shift at a warehouse when something very strange is caught on camera. This footage was posted by X-Alien97, who works security at a construction site where the following chilling incident had taken place. X-Alien says that ever since showing this video to the people who work there, employees have been on edge. They fear that they too will experience this terrifying encounter. In a very short video, X-Alien recounts the events of that night.
So I work security at this construction site, right? We got all the trucks. We got these real things right here. There you go. One of these. These things are heavy. Just a little backstory. It was a construction worker that he needed help pushing one of these. He says a guy came up to him, another worker, and he says, "I got you. Just guide me and I'll push it for you." So I said, "Okay, cool." So he was guiding him. He kept telling him, "Back it up, back it up, back it up," and he was pushing it. When they were done, he went around the reel to tell him thank you, and he says that he was gone.
Yay, takot. Kinikilabutan ako, promise. Pagka Bizarre Bob, kinikilabutan talaga ako.
Now the scariest part about this story is that when the worker had one day gone up to the main office of the building, he noticed a particular memorial photo of the workers who used to work at the company. In this photo, he saw the man who had helped him push the reel. Eerily,
shit.
the photo says he had passed away in 2015. The following is the video of what's believed to be the ghost of the ex-employee caught on camera.
Gagi, wala na to. Multo daw to. Oh. Nawala. Gago, biglang nawala. Yung tumutulak.
Eerily enough, the person who was helping the worker with the reel suddenly disappears. According to the worker, he had walked around to thank the man for helping him, but to his shock, he was no longer there. It's as though he seemingly vanished into thin air. Given the story provided by the security guard, could it be that this worker had encountered the spirit of a deceased ex-employee? Or might there be some logical explanation for this truly odd occurrence? As with most videos, this one has yet to be solved.
Takot to. Kaya basta sa company talaga lagi may nagbumulto dyan. Number 5.
Now the following video doesn't have much info as the original source is unknown, but even without knowing its origin, the footage is no less scary. The story goes that a man who lives in a village near the Swiss Alps heard strange noises coming from the mountainous region. He decides to climb the mountain and find the source of these unusual sounds. When he gets to the top, he's immensely frightened by what he sees. This is the video he took.
Не знам дали е могуće. Не знам да сте видли ili mislim možda što sam sam ovde, kao da mi se učinilo. Ne znam da ste videli, molim vas zavratite. Ništa se ne vidi.
Ano yan?
Ništa ne vidim i dalje.
Yan. Makatakot yung sound, ano? Yung background sound, ano yan? Gago, may nakatayo. Takot talaga ako pag Bizarre Bob. Ano yung dalawa nakatayo na yan? Ay gago, nagalaw.
Učini mi se kao da je mrdnulo malo.
The man sees what appears to be two giant figures standing in the distance. Even more chilling is the fact that the figures seem to be moving ever so slightly, confirming that they weren't statues, but instead something else entirely. The man believes that these might have been angels or an entity of some sort, as he felt a sense of peace
Okay lang kung angel, baka paano kung hindi angel?
and believed that the figures meant no harm. Yet when looking at the video through an infrared lens, the figures don't appear to be fake or CGI'd. Whatever had been on top of this mountain seems to have actually been there. But, like always, you be the judge on whether or not something supernatural was captured. Just what exactly had been on top of this mountain?
Number 4. Hindi kalabutan ako.
On December 31st of 2022, 3 policemen were dispatched to a house after receiving a call from a neighbor who reported that loud, strange noises were coming from inside. The neighbor stated that they heard deep, guttural noises and piercing screeches that were unlike anything they'd ever heard. When the police arrived, they were deeply disturbed by what they found. Now, the video itself was taken by a paramedic who was immediately called to the scene. As it turns out, the police requested immediate medical care as they were unprepared to deal with the situation at hand. They had no idea that the house they were in once belonged to a family of cannibals who enjoyed butchering human flesh and making exotic dishes that consisted of human remains. This cannibalistic family has since passed away, but their house still remains in its shabby condition in a small town located in Greater Poland. On the night of New Year's Eve in 2022, a 20-year-old woman named Kamilka had been inside the house with a couple of friends. They were all playing with the Ouija board with the intent of conjuring the spirits of the cannibalistic family and the victims they consumed. This was a bad idea, as all of a sudden, Kamilka began acting erratically and extremely feral before barricading herself inside a room. Something had gone terribly wrong. According to her friends, Kamilka had seemingly become possessed. When the police came, they were left highly unnerved by what they saw. This is what was caught.
Ah, pucha, ano yan?
Jezu, jak to ona tak warczy? Ja pierdzielę.
Kurwa, tak?
No, totalnie.
Pierdolę, ja dostaję tylko 5000 zł, kurwa, tam. Idź pan do...
Nakatakot naman yun.
Kamilka! Kamila!
Si Camila pala yun.
Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś widzi.
Gagi, ano to? Nakakatakot to ah.
Nie? Drut ma jakiś.
Terrified by Kamilka's strange behavior, the police are unable to go inside and save her. So, as a final attempt to get her out, they head outside and place a ladder against the side of the room where she hides. This, however, did not go as expected.
Gago.
Tu jesteś, dzikuska. Chodź, misiu. Nie patrz jak świnia, kurwa. Chodź,
Ano to? Sinapian na?
chodź tu, kurwo.
Gago.
Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, to jest nie widzę. To nie czołgaj się. Kamilka.
Kunin. Takot yung ano,
Dziecko cię woła.
yung boses.
Kamilka. Wiktoria cię woła.
The police tell Kamilka that her daughter Victoria is with them as an attempt to lure her out of the room, but this didn't seem to work, given that she still stayed inside. Unfortunately, not much else is caught on camera as the video ends abruptly, but according to the paramedic who shot the video, Kamilka was eventually taken to the hospital. Strangely enough, it was upon arriving at the hospital that she started acting normal again. After being thoroughly examined by a psychiatrist, Kamilka showed no signs of any psychiatric disorders.
Uy,
Her blood was also checked for any intoxicating substances that could explain her
Gogi, hindi siya nababaliw.
strange behavior, but no traces of any drugs were found in her system.
Patay.
To this day, Kamilka's family nor her friends could explain what happened inside that house. All that is known is that her family wishes to never see their daughter ever like this again. Whether Kamilka was possessed or if she had a temporary psychosis remains a mystery.
Number 2.
Marcos Garcia is the owner of a small car shop that is currently operated by just one mechanic. This mechanic is the only employee at this workshop, and it was just recently that he received a car from a customer who needed repairs on the vehicle. Ever since receiving this car though, strange things have been happening around the place. Both the business owner and the mechanic believe that there's something quite mysterious about this car. They don't know what it is, but they have a slight suspicion that it might be the reason as to why unexplainable things have been happening recently. This vehicle, according to them, scares them. Although feeling creeped out by the car's presence, they don't think much of it and carry on with their daily assignments. But then one day, a very peculiar incident is caught on camera. Marcos, the business owner, is watching over the shop through a security camera when he notices the mechanic acting very strange. The old man was moving in such a way that it made him feel very unsettled. But when the mechanic was asked as to what he was doing, he replied that he was talking to the client who had dropped off the creepy car. Marcos, though, found this very unusual. The video Marcos had seen tells a different story. This is what he saw.
May kinakausap si Tatang. Kawawa yung matanda, oh. Yung kinakausap, wala naman.
¿Sabes que consígueme el teléfono con la Connie, porfa? ¿Pero con quién habla, weón? ¿Aló? Oye, disculpa, pero ¿con quién estás hablando?
Con don Carlos, que me está viendo, pasando el presupuesto y explicándole el tema del accidente que tuvo anoche en la carretera. Entonces me está viendo el presupuesto, le estoy explicándole lo que le estoy diciendo.
Oye, cálmate. ¿Qué, don Carlos? Pero, oye, escúchame un poquito. ¿Tú me estás hablando del accidente de anoche?
Claro.
Juan, me estáis huellando, ¿cierto?
No, vos estoy con don Carlos aquí, pues.
Nako?
Le estoy explicándole todo.
Oye, ¿podéis subir? ¿Sabes qué? Oye, es que no estáis hablando con nadie, viejo.
No puede ser, pues yo tengo el caballero aquí al frente mío, pues.
No estás hablando con nadie, Juan, y ayer los que chocaron murieron todos.
¿Qué te digo? No te con los caballeros.
Juan, no estás con nadie, sube y ven a ver las cámaras, tengo todo grabado.
No, no sea así, pues, cabrón.
Sube, viejo, sube, vente al tiro. Si no estás con nadie, Juan.
Para. Es que el caballero me la acabó escuchándome él, pues,
Viejo, no, tengo grabado, vente por favor, vente.
Wala, ayaw maniwala ni
Confused and
Tatang na wala
slightly
siyang kausap.
unsettled by the old man's behavior, Marcos immediately calls him to ask what exactly is happening. To his shock, the mechanic replies that Carlos, the client who had dropped off the car days ago, was visiting him to discuss details about his car and a racing accident that occurred the night before. Marcos was chilled to his core. Hearing him mention the racing accident from last night was beyond strange. As it turns out, Carlos, the client, had passed away in a terrible street racing accident the night before. The mechanic had not been aware of this incident until recently. The question is though, how exactly did he come to learn about this news? Could it be that the alleged spirit of Carlos had paid the mechanic a visit? Is the so-called haunted car responsible for this? Or is this simply a case of someone who's become slightly unhinged from doing too much work at the shop? Just like Marcos, viewers believe that something supernatural was caught on camera.
Hirap nung gano'n, may kinakausap ka, wala kang kaharap, no? Pero sa camera, wala kang kausap. Shit.
Michelle A. and her small family live in a suburban home in Long Island, New York. Both she and her husband are happily raising 4 children while simultaneously running a traveling petting zoo. Although living a busy lifestyle, Michelle and her husband always make sure to prioritize the needs of their children. Given how much they care for their safety, they install a nanny cam inside their baby daughter's bedroom.
Nako, ito na naman,
One
baby
night,
na naman.
while looking over at the baby monitor, something downright spooky is caught on camera. Michelle says that her baby daughter typically sleeps through the night, and if she were to wake up, she would usually cry out for her mother. But on this night, something unexpected happens. Watch.
Gagi talaga itong mga magulang na to. Talaga tinatabi yung mga anak nila, eh, no? Tingnan nyo naman, kawawa naman yung bata. Tapos lalagyan lang ng camera.
Michelle says that her daughter appears to be pointing at something in the dark. What's even more odd is that her baby daughter was laughing and pointing at something for about an hour or so before going back to sleep. It's because of this clip that Michelle thinks that her daughter has encountered something paranormal. According to her, her daughter was seeing something that we couldn't. Whatever it was that her daughter was seeing, Michelle hopes that it was nothing serious or anything that should be a cause for concern. Who knows as to whether or not her daughter had actually seen something that night. But like always, let me know what you think.
Ayaw na talaga nila itabi yung mga bata. Nakakatakot yung ano, yung isa, yung sa katulong, yung sa kotse, yung may kinakausap. Nakakatakot din yung ano, yung parang sinapian, 'di ba? Hindi naman baliw eh, pero hindi sinapian eh, no?
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands.